everybody, and welcome to Tech Talk. I am Jennifer Cooper. I am your host and fractional CMO at fOCUS360. And today we have Kody Smith. He's the founder and CEO of NoviHome. Kody, thanks so much for joining me today.
So excited to be here. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, just after Halloween. Got to wipe the candy out of our eyes, right?
Yes, it was. I got four kids, so it was a rough morning getting everyone off to school. We had a lot of kids that didn't want to go to school today.
Totally understand that. I'm in the same boat. Well, we'll kick off our morning with Tech Talk. For those of you who are not familiar with Tech Talk, we are now also on Spotify. So I want to give a shout out to give us a follow on that channel. But also Tech Talk really offers short segments focused on bite-sized insights and learnings around technology and marketing in today's home builder world. All the things that I love, Kody loves, and hopefully our audience loves, which also makes NoviHome a great choice for a guest today. So we want to hear from more innovators out there like NoviHome. And today specifically, we're going to talk about customer experience in the sales journey, applications that NoviHome's using to take customer experience really outside of the box, in different ways outside of the sales office. We know today's buyer is consuming all of the marketing and communications outside of the sales office too. So we want to talk about everything cool that NoviHome is doing. But to kick off, Kody, I am a longtime fan of NoviHome. We've known each other, I think, 5 or 6 years now, but not everybody knows you. Not everybody knows NoviHome. So I want to kick off with the first question. Tell us about who is NoviHome and how did you start NoviHome? I actually don't know that answer, so I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, no, great question. So we are based in Southern Utah. St. George and Cedar City, Utah is where we call home. Utah is a bit of a tech hub. Not, 5 years ago, a lot of people didn't know that. Recently, it's emerged as one of the major tech states and just a real flourishing area to develop tech. We have an interesting story. We launched into, I wouldn't say the builder space, we launched into the master plan community space back in 06, 07, and we were doing a lot of digital marketing. And we were specifically working and following Jack Nicklaus master plan golf communities. And at that time, we were building and creating, it's a little CD-ROM that we would mail out to buyers that were interested. They would put into their PC, and it's like half the size of a CD, and they would get a 3 to 4 minute infomercial of the Jack Nicklaus community, and when the launch date would be, and what the community, the amenities there. And we had a pretty cool little company going, and then obviously the recession hit. And when the recession hit, we had started to create and develop touchscreen technology. And as the recession hit, obviously the builder space, there was no money there. But we pivoted into the medical industry, and specifically aesthetics. So plastic surgery, cosmetic dermatology. And interestingly enough, it was a recession-proof industry. And we were able to stay afloat through 08, 09, 2010. And then we kind of flourished as the economy rebounded. And we started to create, in that space, it was patient education. So instead of going in and having a consult and having some stuff drawn on a piece of paper, we digitized everything. We gave the doctors the capability to draw on photos, take photos of the patient, show incision areas, talk about, Botox or fillers or anything else that patient was interested in. Fast forward to 2018. Personally, I couldn't wear a suit any longer. And that industry is a suit every day type of industry. And it's really an industry that I didn't have a lot of interest in. It was fun to build the company. It was fun to be part of it. There are some milestones. We actually sold the company, reacquired the company for, I think it was 13 cents on the dollar. But after we reacquired the IP, I started looking at other opportunities. I looked into OSHA compliance with builders and creating something there. And in our journey there, we started to look back at master plan communities. We identified there wasn't a ton of opportunity it's just not a lot of master plan communities in the US. Then we started looking at the sales process for our builders. And, we went in and we secret shopped a couple builders here in Utah, a couple of the large builders, and noticed like, wow, you're going in, you're paying, this was pre-COVID, but $500,000 for a 4,000 square foot home, and you're getting a black and white printout of the floor plan and maybe a business card. And we looked at it and we thought, this is the biggest purchase for 90% of Americans. And I'm getting a business card and a black and white printout of the floor plan. And this is the experience. And we started to realize our expertise and what we had built in the medical industry transferred over into the builder space. Now, we don't know we'd never sold a home, we'd never built a home. So there was a learning curve there, but we do know technology, we do know buyer experience. And that's how we launched in 2019 into the builder space.
Very interesting. So you're finding cross industries where there's maybe some commonalities of looking at different pieces of the consumer journey, but probably definitely some learnings. But you're more of a Nike guy versus the suit guy. And this model works much better for you.
Yes.
I play off the Nike player for a second.
I love that. Yeah, definitely more of a Levi's and polo guy than a, suit every day with a tie.
Got it. So like in a nutshell, I know we're going to talk about, I'm going to ask you about some new products here, but like, what is your elevator pitch on what Novi does? Really concrete, really easy to understand. What does it do for the home building industry?
Yeah, NoviHome builds a custom branded app for the home builder that is truly the only first point of contract through post-sale experience. And we really focus I always say this, our foundation is sales and marketing. And that's really what we came to market with. And that we brought that from the medical space. But that has expanded through as we identified the buyer experience was lackluster it was fairly lackluster in the builder space. And so the last 2.5 years, all of our development have been around the buyer experience. So again, custom branded app for our home builders that provide communication to the buyers from the builder with a ton of integrations, with a focus on sales and marketing and that buyer experience.
Awesome. So when looking at your customer base and looking at builders that are working with your product, do you find that they find different aspects of your products more useful than others? Do you find that some want more of front of contract, back of contract use? What does your ideal customer look like? Maybe explain what that ideal customer is, because we've got builders across, builder 100 lists to 200 lists, small, large, OSCs, no OSCs, 2 or 3 sales associates in a sales office, 1. Like there's just a lot of makeup of what the sales and marketing organization look like. So who's your ideal customer, and does it work really across the whole array out there?
Great question, and quite honestly, huge hurdle for NoviHome as we launched into this space, and something that this is where our expertise coming from a different industry helped us, but also hurt us. What we identified with builders, everybody's different. You could have 3 builders in the same market and they run their companies different and they're targeting different buyers. So from a feature perspective within Novi, we find that builders will gravitate to different solutions that they need at that moment. Like one builder may need a photo and communication solution to update buyers. Another builder may need our front end sales and marketing, and another builder may be looking at the, I need a post-close experience that's better. As far as size of builders, um, we love privately held builders. So we do, we've done some work for some of the public builders, publicly held, some of the largers, the Lennars, the KB Homes. But really our focus is any builder that's, 5,000 homes or less per year. If you have an integration or if you're using Lasso or HubSpot, I mean, that's typically a really good fit for us, and that means that we fit into your system fairly easy. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you ask the sales team, they're going to tell you any builder that does 100 homes to 2,500 homes a year. You ask me, we'll do anybody, but that's me. But really, privately held builders that have some type of CRM backend.
Sure. Well, they can move mountains a little quicker because they're looking at regionally or, where they're located to maybe make those applications. But it's great to know that you can scale depending on, who's interested in the overall service that you guys offer. It's awesome. So integrations are super important. Again, I like hearing your mindset of we adapt to what the builder has installed, the technology that they're using. That's super important. That's sometimes a hurdle depending on how technologically advanced the company is. So talking about integrations, this is TekTalk by fOCUS360, and we are an integration partner with NoviHome, which is fantastic. So would love to ask you, in your own words, how does the integration with fOCUS360 work? Because fOCUS360 creates all of the high quality renderings, interactive site maps, animations, things of that nature that are really selling the home. And you have the forward facing application that's going to be staying in tune with the buyer on their journey. So how does that integration work from your words?
Yeah. So first and foremost, what everybody should understand is we do not create any content. So we rely on our partners like fOCUS360 and the content that they create to fill the app that we build for the buyer. So we're, I always, in the early days, when year one, when no builders even understood what an app or why that would be important for them, I always identified it as this. Look, Facebook is the largest delivery mechanism for content in the world. They create no content. So think of us in that way. We integrate with our partners like fOCUS360. We pull in all the digital assets to the app so that the buyer can have easy access to that. We've created for lack of better words, the best mousetrap for buyers to engage from their phone and be able to engage with their sales agent. But we want to pull in all of those assets, and that's where our partners like fOCUS360 are so important, because we're going to pull all of that, everything that the builder has invested in from a digital asset standpoint. We're going to leverage that and deliver that to the buyer. It's actually really slick.
Awesome. So important that I think service providers like yourself and fOCUS360, we've got to think that there's this whole wide array of technology out there. And I love that you just have the space to incorporate the content, and each company really knows what they're good at. So that's fantastic. And I encourage all the marketers out there to always ask the question when you're looking at a new service provider to integrate into your marketing mix. How do you integrate with XYZ? Or I have this CRM, I have this, this way that I'm selling or how I'm selling. How are you going to integrate? It's a fair question, and it's a good question that all service providers need to be thinking about across the whole gamut of technology that's out there. So now let's get to another question. If anybody's been watching social media, or they've seen you at the Jeff Shore Summit, Do You Convert Summit, you have been launching 2 really great new products, listings and home trackers. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes of airspace here to tell us why they're so cool.
Perfect. Well, I'll start with home tracker because it's the easiest. If you've ever ordered, we launched home tracker. We launched down this path. Quite frankly, it was a conversation that Kevin Oakley and I had probably 4 years ago. And it was, why can you order a pizza from Domino's and see the updates, but you cannot get updates on your home being built. And our version 1 was being able to send photos and videos, and we launched that with our builders 4 years ago. Version 2 is the actual milestones, milestones of drywall, framing, and being able to include a video, information on what to expect next. That is what, that is our home tracker. Home tracker is just tracking the home. As we started to develop that, and from our standpoint, so everybody knows, we listen really well. We're not that smart, but we listen really well to what our builders are saying and what our partners are saying. And I'm going to give another shout out to Do You Convert, because our listings feature came from a conversation with Mike Lyon. Mike Lyon called me and he said, I'm buying a truck right now. I'm at the dealership. They're sending me information on 5 different trucks, and it's so cool. Why can't Novi do that? And so that's where we incorporated listings. And listings is the ability for our home builders to update multiple prospects on the build of specs or move-in ready. And home tracker is self-explanatory. Listings is a little more complicated, but with all of our builders right now, listings is blowing up. And I knew it was going to do this as we were building this out. I was so excited. Essentially, you can take I call it middle of the funnel listings feature. So it's not what you're doing at Zillow. It's not what you're doing at realtor.com or even on your website. This is more middle of the funnel. You have 14 buyers that are interested in the ABC model in XYZ community, and you can update those buyers. Hey, framing was completed today. This is the next step. And buyers can go in, they can watch different properties or move-in ready homes. They can see different communities. We had the craziest story come across our desk this week. And this is what happens with technology. And this is what I get excited about technology, is when our users start to use it and break it and create things. Yeah. We've got a builder, Level Homes in Louisiana, that has it's essentially a pool activity area. It's an amenity that's being built. Uh-huh. And they are updating through listings on this amenity of the pool house, right? So cool. Broke ground, framing, but it's really a way to keep prospects. Listings is really a way to keep prospects involved and following your spec homes.
Very cool, very cool. And as I understand it, because I've been learning about it as well, is it gives the opportunity to like a home salesperson. If I'm interested, I come in, this is a very classic buyer. I'm looking to find a home, maybe looking to move in the next 2 to 3 months, maybe looking for an inventory home. As a sales agent, I can come in and curate a list that they want to watch. And then I can see when other people are interested in it. Very similar to some of the other listing sites out there where you can see like, wow, 500 people have saved this home, right? Nationally, sometimes it's bigger. And then that makes you think, wow, this is not going to stay on the market very long. So it creates a little bit of that fear of missing out, the FOMO. And, should I move quicker to get something under contract, right?
You drilled it. And it even goes as far as if you update pricing or if there's a purchase incentive. Like a lot of our builders right now have purchase incentives going into the end of the year. It might be a 2-1 buy down or a 3-1 buy down with the initial interest rate at 3.25%. As you make changes, all you have to do is change that listing and it updates the 50 buyers that are following that. And as those buyers engage, your sales team is receiving the analytics like, hey, Jennifer Cooper received the update. She's logged in and looked at the purchase incentive 3 times in the last 2 days. And it really streamlines your opportunity to get in front of those buyers.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think it gives a lot of extra insight. So we're delivering the right message at the right time. more a la carte than that mass e-blast. So I think there's a lot of potential with that product and with Home Tracker. So congratulations. The pizza analogy is fantastic, and it is something that's been missing, digitally speaking. How do we serve that up? So thank you for sharing that insight, and hopefully, congratulations and good luck on launching that extra added component of what NoviHome already offers. So to end our Tech Talk, one last question. This one's kind of fun, but tell us what inspires you most about the home building industry, and what is one piece of technology you're watching or you're the most curious about that you think is going to help us innovate as an industry? I think this is the question we need to wake up and ask ourselves every single day.
So I hear this a lot, but what inspires me most about the builder industry is the people. Coming from working in other industries and landing in this industry, this is an industry I enjoy. It's an industry that I've created what I believe are lifelong friends and partners. And it's a fun group to be around that are really down to earth, and just we love our builders. I mean, it's crazy. I worked with a lot of doctors, a lot of plastic surgeons, and a couple of them are still good friends. But within the builder industry, I mean, the relationships and friendships I've built are just, it's very uncommon, and it's a special industry. As far as tech that I'm watching and what keeps me up at night is I've got 4 kids, and I share this story. My proud dad moment. My 19-year-old senior class president, Division I athlete, 3.9 something GPA. And I've got 4 kids, and so I watch my kids, and specifically my oldest, he's 19 right now. He's going to be purchasing a home in the next 6 years, I would imagine. I hope, right?
Wow.
And I watch how much time they spend on YouTube and video content. And that is our buyer 5 years from, maybe not even 5 years. That's our buyer 2 years from now. Is a buyer that grew up on YouTube, that grew up on instant gratification. I search it, I want to see it, I want to know about it. I don't need to call anybody. I need to be able to just pull this up, and within 30 seconds. Yes. So that's what keeps me up at night. How do I create technology for tomorrow's buyer? Not today's buyer. We're doing that for today's buyer, but tomorrow's buyer that grew up on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good point. It's a very good point. I always say what's going to be important to them is going to be different. They're mobile, like literally mobile, and then literally device mobile. But that is a very good point. It's like we're serving today, but we're really building for tomorrow every day if we're looking at it. So sure other people share that thought. So keep building the cool stuff, Kody. And I want to thank you so much for being on Tech Talks today. And to all of our viewers, encourage you to meet up with Kody and his team and check out novihome.com to learn more about these new product launches. And thanks everybody for following Tech Talk. Again, we're on Spotify now. If it's easier to listen in the car on your morning drive, I find that very easy myself. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Until next time, thanks for joining. Bye-bye.
Thank you.